Welcome inside our television studios here on campus. This is Charlotte 49ers basketball preview show. I'm Ryan Rose, and of course, if we're going to talk men's hoops here for the Charlotte 49ers, we've got to have the head coach, Alan Major. Welcome again.
Thank you.
Last time we sat in this chair, we talked a lot about you. We're going to talk a lot about the team today. A whole lot about the team. And we brought a couple of guys in here that are going to be factors this year. Deuce Briscoe, who's a transfer in here, playing his sophomore year after having to sit out last year, but he was on the sideline, so he was around. And then the old man around here, Anwan Wilderness, who's a senior this season, here to help share some knowledge with the men's basketball program. Coach, first of all, team-wise, when we sat here and talked about you, you had seen maybe a little bit of film, not much. You were working to get on the same page with all the guys. Let's forward now to, you've played the first exhibition.
Right.
Think about that journey. I know you've said an important thing, not just the basketball, was just to getting to know everybody and
Right.
making a connection. How has that gone, and how much more work is there to do in that respect?
Yeah, we made a lot of strides. I think the big thing is these guys always knowing where we're coming from as a staff, not just from a basketball standpoint, but just understanding that you want to build habits that are winning habits that are going to carry you past Charlotte. And if you can establish those winning habits on a day-to-day basis, then, when you step out into the real world, you're going to have some common threads and some stuff that's going to help you, beyond winning. And so, yeah, we made a lot of strides, and we're still moving forward with that. And now we've sprinkled basketball in there. So the thing that, as a staff, we want to make sure we don't do is we don't want to let that personal stuff get lost, and let basketball get in the way of that. As important as it is, we want to make sure that daily connection's always there.
You guys, I remember back when we were announcing his arrival, a lot of the team was there showing support. What were your first impressions after Coach gets here and you actually get together, get organized? Deuce, what do you remember about that first week, those first couple weeks, or the end of last school year, as it were, as you guys were trying to get to know each other and feel each other out from a personal and a basketball standpoint?
I mean, obviously, it was kind of like, it was a 50-50 thing. I mean, we was anxious to meet him, but at the same time, we was also a little sad from the departure of Coach Luch.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I was one of the first guys who actually talked to Coach Major when he got here. He got here maybe that weekend. I actually had a meet. He talked with the whole team Sunday night, and I actually stayed back to really talk to him because I was anxious. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait till Monday to start having meetings, or Tuesday. I wanted to just to get a feel for him that night. So, but once he got here, and our relationship, man, from that day it just grew. It grew a lot stronger. And I respect him, he respects me, and I'm glad to be here. And
Anwan, as one of the elder statesmen around here, I know your job not only is to be your own basketball player, but you're one of the leaders on this team, and I know the younger guys look up to you. How important is it for you as the older players to get on the same page with the coaches and make sure all the other players are in line with what you guys are trying to do?
Really just try to make, for the younger players to get them to understand, even though, we lost the coach and we have a new coach coming in, we just want to let Coach know he's on the same page as the old coach was, just trying to win and help us get better as persons and as basketball players too. And like Deuce said, like when Coach got here, I was excited for him to get here. I knew Coach Major from way back,
Okay.
And he called me before he even got here. I think he called everyone just to reach out to us and stuff before he got here. And then we sat down and had a meeting, and then talked to him. Once he got here, I was just happy. Just ready to start playing basketball for him.
Now that's the next place I want to go to as far as playing basketball. You guys have to individually do things on your own to get better. And I'm curious how you've gotten better since that last game against UMass last year. What has Anwan Wilderness done to improve his game to this point?
Really, over the summer, we've been weights in the gym, getting up shots, repetition, just working on my shot ball handling and everything like that. So when I get in the game, I feel more comfortable taking them shots when I'm wide open and everything.
And in this system, there will be times when you'll be wide open, so I'm sure. And Deuce, you had to sit out last year after transferring, so you've had a little bit more time to work on your game. How have you individually gotten better since the last time you got on the floor?
I feel like I matured as a basketball player and more so as a student too since I've been here. The year off, obviously, I matured more as a student, but I mean, basketball-wise, man, every day I'm in the gym, every day I'm watching film, I'm doing something to better my game. So with, like you said, with weights and just repetition.
A lot of work going in. A lot of people think basketball starts on October 15 when you have that first. Right. That's crazy. There is no off season anymore the way sports is now. As a team, what do you want other coaches to think after they've played a game with you guys? What do you want the identity of Charlotte to be as you get this thing rolling after that first scrimmage? What do you want this personality of this team to be?
I would say toughness. I think you want to build an identity. You know, every team has a thing. You watch the NFL, you watch NBA teams. Every team's got a mindset about them when they play, and they know when they take the floor or the field that this is who we are. And for us, you know, we want our overall chant to be toughness. Being tough defensively, a team that's scrappy. It's very difficult to score on, and if teams do score, you know, it's going to be a fight to score. That's first to the floor. That's that's willing to get dirty. And then a team offensively, you know, our toughness comes from having an inside-out mentality, taking high percentage shots, but also you're tough to guard because you spray the ball around, and from one possession to the next, people may not know what's coming because you have that unselfishness about you and that trust that if Anwan feels he's got a good shot and Deuce is open one pass away and he's got a great shot, that he knows, Deuce knows, our bench knows, everybody knows that he's willing to make that extra pass to get a great shot. And that's a form of toughness in its own way. And so, and then just being completely together, no matter what we go through. So if it's toughness and togetherness, if you could kind of put those two things in one big ball, that's what we like to be.
I've seen you guys practice a little bit. It's kind of physical down there, the way you want guys to get after it. I've seen pads out for giving guys shucks in the shoulder, you know, bumping guys. I've seen these little foam baseball bats where you're waving it around. I saw that at shoot around yesterday. There's a lot going on as you try to get everybody on the same page as far as the way you guys want to play. What did you learn about this team that you didn't know after the first exhibition? Or what are you finding out about these guys as they actually get on the floor and play a different team? I know you guys get kind of tired of practicing against yourselves and get somebody else in another jersey out there.
Right, yeah. We have some competitors. Not that I didn't think that we did, but, you know, we had more of that than I saw coming. You know, I think when guys are really focused and hooked up on what we're trying to do, there's a swagger out there that you like to see in terms of, you know, wanting to work together and support each other. Seeing Spears dive on the loose ball the other day when we were up. I don't know how many points we were up, but that's what we want to become, is a team that doesn't play the score. We play the situation, and we play the possession that's right in front of us to the max, you know, on either side of the ball. And to see that the other night, that play right there kind of epitomized what we want to become, is just you know, that team that goes all out on every possession.
And Deuce, after getting that first game in against Queens in the exhibition, can you think of some things that you guys are really excelling at this point in the season? Some things that this team is really bringing to the table as far as basketball goes? Are you surprised by any of the things you've seen, or is it just kind of a thing where, gosh, you know, we're finally getting to play? We're actually doing some things out there that Coach wants us to get done.
I mean, one, we definitely was excited to be, like you said, bang against another team. But two, we just wanted to. It's a trust thing, like he said. We wanted to go out there and play against, but just trust one another to have my back, like on a defensive stand. I know that was mainly what we was preaching, was defense. You know, we knew we was going to, you know what I'm saying, beat Queens, but we just wanted to make a statement and make a team identity of ourselves. So that was basically that's what we wanted to do, our goal as a team.
Anwan, what do you notice about this particular squad? I know every team is different. As a senior, and you look around at the guys in the huddle and the guys on the floor, whether you're out there or taking a breather, what are you noticing about this team this year? Is there something special going on here?
I think it's something special going to go on this year. I think it's like we communicate a lot better this year. I think, you know, as a whole, we trust each other, knock down shots, and for another person to make a play that sometimes you may not think one, you know, we trust in each other. So I think, you know, we've seen a big difference in the players out here this year.
Big schedule, which we take a look at we'll start with the non-conference. You got a tournament in Charleston. And one thing people forget about tournaments is, you know, you're going to play on back-to-back nights. You're going to play sometimes three nights in a row.
Right.
That's good preparation to let you know what you've got as far as when you get to the postseason, when you get to conference tournament, you get into the NCAAs or the NITs, whatever it is. What do you learn about yourselves when you have to play back-to-back-to-back nights like that?
I think it gets back to that toughness thing. When you have to turn the page and you play, let's say at 7 o'clock one night, and then the next night, you know, depending on the tournament setup, you may play at 4, you may play at 2, you just don't know. So just being able to turn the page quickly and absorb all the positives, negatives, whatever you had in that first game, and then get your mindset off of that and get right to the next game. So, and you know, by playing back-to-back on the 12th and 13th, I think we'll put ourselves in a situation before we get to Charleston to see what that's like.
Right.
So I think that's the big thing, is just being able to turn the page quickly, get to that next team, and that setup, I think, is 3 games in 4 days, so you'll have a day off after the second one. But again, I think it gets back to that toughness thing of, you know, what do we have to do at this moment right now, and what's the best thing for us?
And guys, we're also mixing in a West Coast trip, going out to Oregon State. You got home game downtown, which is a little different, playing at Time Warner Cable Arena. I know you've done some travel in the conference, playing. Obviously, in this league, there is some travel involved. Anwan, what's the toughest part about having to take long road trips?
Toughest part is really getting there. Depends on where you're going to. Sometimes it's just getting there, then practicing when you get there, then preparing for the team the next day. Really just taking care of your body when you're on the road trips, really. You know, resting and getting your rest because you're traveling so much, you know, so you just got to get your rest and be ready for the game.
Yeah, and with long road trips, I know you've had them in college and in high school. It's taxing on the body, especially when you're going somewhere. Then you got to play, then you got to try to get some rest and play again the next night. In tournament situations, that's got to be rough. How do you look to your teammates to help everybody pick each other up?
I mean, we just, I don't know, we just got, you got to stay together, man. When you're on the road, you really got to stay together. You got to stay as close as possible on that road. It's a lot of things that I think can separate you on the road. But that goes back to us trusting one another. You know, when we building that trust now, and in the summer, we built relationships that should get us over those humps for road trips and stuff like that, or tough situations in the game. So that's how I feel on that.
As we close this out,
Right.
as we expectations. I mean, without necessarily listing the team goals, expectations for this team: improve every day. You know, be competitive, be tough. What are some of the other things you're looking out for these guys and the rest of the squad this year?
You know, we want to be playing our best basketball that we can possibly play come the month of March. And, you know, where that takes us is where that's going to take us. There's so many variables in college basketball with the parity of teams in general, staying healthy, you know, which way the ball bounces, all that. But these guys have the ability to, you know, to really do something special. And what that means yet, we don't know. But when we're hooked up and we're together and we're doing things right, it's exciting as a coach to imagine, you know, the possibilities of what these guys could accomplish. And it's just been great. It's been fun being with them every day. They don't sometimes realize how much we think about them off the floor.
Sure.
But it's been fun, and we just want to have that mindset that we put the hard hats on and go at it and you know, just max out our ability as best we can every time we step out on the floor.
I think we've all waited long enough. You know, you guys have been working so hard. It's time to put that out on the floor, and don't forget to have fun, right?
Right.
Don't forget to have fun, because this is a game, and it's a lot of fun to watch you guys. I know that. Folks, if you need to get tickets, you need to call the Charlotte 49ers ticket office, 704-687-4949. There's no reason for you not to have Halton Arena rocking this season, and Time Warner Cable Arena one time, as the guys said down there. So, guys, we really appreciate a little bit of time.
Thank you.
Deuce.
You get refreshments.
We'll get refreshments, absolutely. We'll take him in the green room and hook him up with some water. Deuce Briscoe, Anwan Wilderness, Coach Alan Major, good luck this season. Good health to you guys. We hope everything works out this season. Anwan, we hope to send you out on a good note in your senior season, and good luck.
Thank you.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Appreciate it.
That's the men's portion of our basketball preview show. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome to the Charlotte 49ers women's basketball preview segment. I'm Ryan Rose, and if we're going to talk women's hoops, that means we're with head coach Karen Aston in her 4th year here at Charlotte, so kind of settled in. Everything has your look and feel to it now. And we've got a couple, speaking of old hats around here, we've got Shannon McCollum on the end, senior Kendria Holmes here, so we're going to talk some women's hoops with some KG veterans, as it were. And you brought two of the talkative ones, I guess.
Yeah, this one we won't be able to shut up.
Okay.
We'll have to cut it off.
All right. We'll shut you down when we have to. But first, I want to engage you first to make sure that we get things rolling for this season. As we think about this year, first question for you two: how did you get better from last season? Think about the last time you guys played. I think it was at home. What has improved about your game since that moment up till now? Kendria, I'll start with you.
Well, over the summertime, the first thing I wanted to make sure was on point was my conditioning. I mean, I've been here since day one of summer one, all the way up until now. I mean, I haven't really slowed down too much. And I called Coach Aston and asked her what it was that I needed to work on this summer personally for my game. And she told me a few things, so I got in the gym. I was in the gym all the time, working on my jump shot, spot shooting, jump shots off the dribble, both left and right, and just different things like that. A
lot of things that are pretty handy when you get into a ball game, especially you guys are kind of an up and down team. I know that this league has some good post play, and some teams like to slow it down, but I think so far that might be your bread and butter.
Oh, absolutely.
Is the speed game.
Coach Aston loves a speed game, getting out in transition, primary break. That's the first thing we're looking for, running.
And it's been successful. Shannon, how have you gotten better since the end of last season up until your senior year here?
I've gotten better in my defense, I think. Like, me and KJ, I like playing one-on-one on him because he go past me every time. So I be trying to work on not touching and fouling and basically sliding my feet and working on my defense.
It's interesting she mentions defense because
amazing.
You guys, I've seen you guys practice, and you bring in some of the guys on campus, recruitable athletes, kind of they got to go through the clearinghouse and things like that. But you bring in guys to practice against them and give you looks and practice certain sets. Explain the thought process going into bringing guys in to practice with you.
Well, I think the first thing that you'll notice as you start coaching women is that they're a little different than men are, as in they're not as competitive against each other.
Okay.
They're kind of afraid they might hurt each other's feelings every now and then. So we have found in the women's game, I mean, this is normal across the country, that if you can bring some guys in, it helps you with the speed and also helps you with them really getting a competitive edge. They're a little more competitive against the guys, and these two are highly competitive. So to push them to be better, I think you have to bring in people that are athletically better than them. And she's talking about, KJ, our manager. A lot of our guys spend time with them in the summer when we're not around and we can't work with them, just helping them shooting, maybe rebounding for them and doing some things like that. And it actually has been, those guys are invaluable. You can't put a price tag on what they do for us.
A lot of programs, whether it be professional football, basketball, whatever sport, scout team is a huge part of what you do, giving a good look for an opponent, things like that. I actually had a roommate of mine in college did that, practice with the women's team, and the girls said that the game slowed down for them after practicing with the guys. Kendria, do you see that same thing?
Yes. One of our freshmen the other day after one of our scrimmages, she asks, is that really how the pace of the game is? She said practice was 10 times harder than the actual pace of the game. So I agree. The practice guys help us out a whole lot because they don't know how fast they be going, for number one. So when we get out in the game, it's 3-4 times slower than it is in practice.
That's good. You have a different gear, and I know you said you work with KJ a little bit. Do you see that really helps you when you guard a girl in a game?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be nervous a little bit, but then once I get the hang of it, then it'll be okay. Then I know that she ain't gonna blow past me like KJ do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. You set up a different speed for them. Let's talk about the schedule a little bit before we get into conference. You have a good slew of non-conference games laid out. You have a pretty big home game. You got Duke coming in. You've gotten some good teams to come into Halton Arena. I know that shows the respect that other programs have for Charlotte. Can you talk about when you talking with coaches or working out contracts, how it works to get home games against quality opponents, good RPI opponents, and how that shines well on Charlotte?
Well, I think it's a reflection of the fact that they don't think that we're a game that's going to hurt them. You know, when you talk about a team like a Duke that obviously is very high in the RPI and will be probably a top 5 team when the rankings come out, that's a team that knows that when they come into our place, it's not going to hurt their RPI. Respect, absolutely, but I'm going to be honest with you, some of it is the recruiting hotbed in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Most programs, it does not bother them to come to Charlotte because it's exposure for them, and I don't mind that because it's good exposure for us, and
Right.
it gives us an opportunity for good competition on our home court.
Now, you've gotten teams like Notre Dame, Duke, places like that to come in and play, but that's got to help you out as well.
It does.
If
It
you can
does.
bring a recruit in and say, look at the kinds of teams, you know, and not just the Xaviers and the other teams in the league, but the other teams that you can get to come into your building, that's got to be good for you too.
It does. I mean, it's everybody pays attention. You know, I mean, all the fans want to talk about when the Duke game is, and you know, in a couple of years, they're all going to want to know when the Tennessee game is,
Sure.
because we've got them coming up on our schedule. So, you know, I just think it is good for fans of the game to see those kinds of programs, and you know, a traditional program as in Tennessee and Duke that, you know, those coaches, people want to see those coaches coach and see those teams play.
And as a competitor, you obviously want to play the best all the time, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That fires you up.
Yes, being in Charlotte, you know, we're not really high ranked like the Dukes and the Notre Dames and all of that, and to be able to show your skill against them and to come in, it's a whole different mindset. Like, you want to go out and you want to at least compete with these teams on the court. I mean, you're not just going to lay down and die. So
Right.
if you can compete with some of the teams in the other conferences, high ranked, then you definitely can do it in your own conference.
And Shannon, having been exposed to the NCAA tournament as well, that is a good little measuring stick for you guys, and it gets you ready for tournament play and things like that to be able to play the best teams. Obviously, as a player, I'm sure you want to play the best teams.
Oh yeah, I love playing the best team because I feel like we still better than them no matter what. Everybody's the same people, so whoever go out there and perform harder, then they're gonna win that game. So.
A good
attitude
segue.
to
Yeah,
have.
a good segue into postseason play. I know we're going to touch on conference in a second, but you want to make sure that you're ready when it comes tournament time, because that's really, you want to be peaking in March and April.
You do, and I think that was one lesson learned from last year, is that our schedule was set out where there were some non-conference games that we knew would put us high enough in the RPI to be looked at as an at-large if we weren't to win the league. And we didn't, we didn't meet those challenges. So I think this year our team is taking a totally different approach to non-conference play. I think they know that it can set you up for good success in conference play and that possibility of getting an at-large bid.
The A-10 has really blossomed as a women's basketball league in the last five seasons. Talk about the challenges that lay ahead of you when you get to conference time. I know that's a really vitally important time for you guys.
Well, I think what's happened in the Atlantic 10 since I've been in the league is that, when I first came in it 4 years ago, all you heard about were the top 4 or 5. You knew that really when you went to play the ones in the bottom half, so to say, that it was, it was a win. I think that's what everybody perceived our league as being. I think what's happened now is that there's more parity. I think you could go down to, top 10. And you can get beat on a given night. And I think that has gained a lot of respect across the country. The emergence of Xavier, we can like it or not, but they are in the top 5 in the country, and I think are a legitimate national champion contender, if definitely a Final Four contender this year. And then you put Dayton in there that is now preseason ranked in the top 25, and there's 2 or 3 of us kind of lurking right behind them,
Right.
and I think that has we've emerged, I believe, as the best mid-major in the country.
You guys have kind of kissed the top 25 as well, being right out in that others receiving votes and sneaking in, coming out. Just the way the league goes, I'm sure, ladies, as we talk about the conference a little bit, when you think about the teams that you're going to face in conference play, the challenges that those programs present you, because not only do you play good non-conference teams, when conference comes here, sometimes some of these teams you can get 2 or 3 games in a row where it's going to be rough.
Right.
Kendria, talk about playing in the league a little bit.
Well, when you get to the conference, you have to win the games that you're supposed to win, and if you can sneak 1 or 2 of those teams like the Xaviers or the Dayton and the Temple, if you can sneak those, then that's always great. And the fact that we play the top teams here at home this year, that's a plus for us.
And Shannon, I know sometimes you get up for a name on the other jersey. What are some of the things you guys have to do to win those games this year?
Hustle and just play together as a team.
Because you guys have been in those games against teams that, quote unquote, higher than you, better than you, what have you. You guys have been competitive in all those games.
She got a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
We have, and I tell you, I think the best thing that could have happened for our team, even though it was a loss, was in the tournament. You know, I think that we knew, I don't think everybody across the country knew how good Xavier was, but I think we knew that. And to have played the way we played against them in the tournament, and it was legit. You know, it was a very competitive game. Both games were against them, and I think it motivated our team to know that they, you know, once you watch Xavier make that run in the tournament, I think we knew that we were right there, and it has given our girls a lot of motivation throughout the summer and the fall.
Now, one thing I've noticed in the league, Xavier maybe, but there's some great post players in this league.
Yeah.
You guys haven't been the tallest team, but this year there are some tall girls on that squad. You guys have gone out and gotten some trees to go with all the speed you have. Now, the one thing that I was concerned about was, can the big girls keep up with the speed that you guys want to play at? And we got a little taste with Jennifer Haley last year, getting in the mix, running up and down the floor. That's something you guys do, is push those big girls to get up and down the floor, because you're going to need them if you're going to win the Bangham games. Talk a little about going out and getting some of that build.
It's helped us. I mean, I think they're babies, and everybody's going to have to remember that, though. I mean, they have not been in the fires yet, and they're going to have some lessons to learn. These two right here they're going to run the train.
Okay.
You know, you can't have enough guards, and the best thing about our team is guard play. That we have a lot. But these two, I'll let them talk about it a little bit. But they're the ones that are going to make or break us, because they are the front runners. They're the leaders of this team, and they'll take us where we need to be.
Kendria, you guys driving the bus a little bit out front. Are you working the bigs in practice to make sure they understand that to play with you guys they're going to have to keep up, because it's going to be an up and down game?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the way that the style that Coach Aston plays in practice, they get enough reps of going up and down, and the guys come in with all that, so they kind of pick up the speed a little bit. When it gets to the game, it's easier, but at the same time, we'll slow down when we have to, especially come towards the end of the game. We slow down, get the ball inside, because you have to have a post presence to win the big games.
I've noticed some height, Shannon, in practice. You're kind of a tweener. You play like a guard, but you can also play in the post because you've got some post skills. What can you do as a leader on this team to help get the younger girls, the bigs that you guys have, up to speed with what you guys are doing?
Well, when I go down to the post area, I just go down there and try to battle hard so they can understand that I'm an undersized post, so they can do the same, because they're bigger than me. So I just go down there and battle, and then talk in their ear and tell them that they can do it, and try to encourage them to do good and just run, because they ain't going to die. Coach ain't going to kill you.
They may hurt after practice, but it's a good hurt, right?
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Hurt. You've had a taste of the NCAA and obviously the NIT, the postseason. A lot of teams can't say that. How motivated, Kendria, do you think this 2010-2011 squad is?
Highly, for the way that we went out last year. I mean, like, they left a sour taste in our mouths, and I cannot wait to get back on that court.
Shannon, your senior year, last chance. How excited are you, and how motivated is your team this season? Are you guys hungry?
Yeah, we're hungry. I'm very hungry. I know that. I'm ready to play all the teams again, just go out there and perform, and just try to go out there and make it to the NCAA again. And
then you never know.
That's right.
You got to get there, but you never know. Well, listen, we wish you guys the best of health for you and your teammates. Cannot wait to see you hit the floor. A lot of home games this year, fans, and you want to be there. So call the Charlotte 49ers ticket office at 704-687-4949. You can follow the ladies on the web, but we'd rather you follow them in Halton Arena this year. One good thing about playing at home is we have great support here. So, Coach, good luck to you and the squad. Kendria, Shannon, good luck to both of you. That's going to do it for our women's basketball segment. Thanks for watching the Charlotte 49ers basketball preview show. I'm Ryan Rose. We'll see you in Halton Arena. Go Niners.